Hey, you guys, it's Amanda here. Rebels against government, no end because we don't like nuts in our government. I want to talk to you about the flying monkeys and the gaslighting that I have experienced since June 2020 in Shreveport, Louisiana. I went to this event and a girl named Hennessy Roses. There come up a messenger saying the N word and everything else. I have recently found out they have made big money off a video that went viral, and it has me saying the N word on this video, but I never said it. It has it written at the bottom. If you watch the video, I've never said that. So it was definitely defamation of character and a million other things. But anyway, it led to bullets in my roof. It led to me having to hide for 3 months. When I did go back to work, I had gang members stalking me in my town, sending me death threats and waiting for me when I left work. I did end up having to leave that job, and I went and cared for my dying grandmother during that time frame. The person that was with me, my guard, I had done some private work for him, and he was led astray as well. There was a female that they coerced to draw him in and lure him with a child that is not his. I don't know if he knows that yet, but I did. I just backed away and let it go. I didn't do anything about it. I've had severe gaslighting. And when I say that, I am referring to it's unbelievable. My light pole was broken in half, took out my chain link fence, had to get a wood fence put up. The guy that I had come in to do that went on a rant, and my neighbor ended up having to run him off. Um, they took out 3 push mowers, 4-wheeler, electric motor scooters, numerous alternators, batteries, nails under the tires, actual slashes to tires. I've had arson to my bait shop, my business. They have there was fires to my trees, even some relatives. They have turned my children against me. They have paid my children to go against me. I have unconditional love for my children. No one will ever turn my children against me fully. I love them unconditionally. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Divided my entire family. They've sent fake messengers. They did get my page crash that had 156,000 likes. I was able to get a lot of things viral off that. I did run for Louisiana Secretary of State in 2019. Sole purpose of running, and I did not do the pay to play thing. I literally paid my campaign fee. I did not accept donations because I didn't want to be bought. I wanted to go in there and tell these people what I had to tell them. It's hard to get to a politician. It's hard to get heard. Um, and I wanted to let them know that what was going to happen. And I did manage to speak with Representative Clay Higgins at one point, and Grandmaster Jay come after him. But I was able to successfully identify 2 of the people that were in. They showed up in Lafayette, Louisiana, where Clay Higgins was. And I had run into them previously in New Orleans and Shreveport, and I knew that they had already successfully sued the police in Texas and everything else. They were paid actors. Okay. I exposed paid agitators in 2017. This was done through the colleges. I did that in New Orleans before Charlottesville. Charlottesville was nothing but a shit show. I didn't go. I did the media. I captured all of it online. I watched the live feeds. I also watched the live feeds of January 6th. I also know that was a DNC operation, military as well. It's all staged political media, and the purpose is to create civil unrest. That is the definition of terrorism. The DNC is guilty. Biden is now giving George Soros, money to run the immigration. They're the ones that were paying the caravans that were coming across our border. They're the ones that were buying out the corrupt DAs. Okay? We have no law and order anymore. The things that have done to me are criminal. Okay? I'm not crazy. I'm not an addict. I'm not a prostitute. I'm not a pedophile. None of that. They've made fake videos of me. They've made fake voices of me. And you know why? You know why they had to censor a simple little Southern girl from Southern Louisiana? Do you know why? Because I almost got 80,000 votes and I got more than 6% of the vote, which means I could have, if I'd have run as a conservative, I could have made that another political party. We need three political parties, folks. We got Republicans and Democrats. We got corruption on both sides. They're all bought out. They're all in the stock market. Their spouses are bidding on whatever they know they're fixing to make fly. It's corruption. It's sad. Just like energy. Okay, I hear all these people whining about their electric bills, and I feel for them. I seriously feel for them. I know gas is super high, or it has been. It's now dropping. I walked the Texas map of independence, by the way, just to get that lowered a little bit. But people are struggling. They don't have the money for the gas. The diesel's super high, so everything in the grocery stores are going up. All your products, everything of that nature. And people are suffering. And on top of that suffering, now they're messing with their electrical, their energy. Energy in Louisiana got busted paying people in their meetings. The CEO of Energy gets millions a year in salary, and he just upped it a few mil, and all these people are suffering. I just want to point out the things that have been done to me are criminal. It is domestic terrorism, it's slander, it's defamation, it is assassination of character. I was a sex trafficking victim as a child, okay? As a young adult, and then again later in life, I was sold, and I was legally emancipated, so I was a ward of the court. That's how they get their victims. They pick them out of that database. There are corrupt people that are tied to CPS and things like that steal people's kids, okay? They steal people's property. They do it in devious, malicious ways. I pay my taxes. I pay my flood. I pay my house note to the SBA. In the flood of 2016, FEMA did not help me. I had fraud that occurred at my residence. About 9 people claimed my residence. I had to track down the contents of my household that I knew shouldn't have been destroyed. Like I had crystal Christmas ornaments. I had a hog head. I had to send people looking out in the community for my things, okay? After having my entire house flooded and somebody else being paid. That's what happened to me. That happened in 2016, but it further was complicated because I was in a HARP seminar in Denver, Colorado, when they were discussing cloud seeding experiments that they were doing off the coast of Florida. The jet streams, I'm in a vortex. There's a jet stream from Texas through here. There's a jet stream up this way, up Louisiana to me. I'm directly in a V right here, okay? The cloud seeding was done to flood all the residents. They wanted to steal property, and they wanted to clear out New Orleans. That was the point of the monuments and everything else. They want to give it to foreigners for pennies on the dollar. All of our stores and everything were bought out by foreigners afterwards. It's just their process. But anyway, I disclosed the cloud seeding, and I knew about those experiments, and I know that's what flooded my home. Now, the news came out with a story about the cloud seeding, okay? But they didn't disclose that they flooded us. They didn't disclose that to you. They just had a nice little petite news story that said we can cloud seed and create water in particular places. They created the fake snow. When they shut down the Texas power grid, that was not normal snow. You can say I'm crazy if you want to. It didn't melt. It didn't make the bayou level go up. It didn't get muddy, okay? Around here, when snow melts, it don't stay all pristine and white and packed on the roads and all that stuff and collapsing roofs like it was doing. That stuff was dry. You couldn't put it into a ball. You couldn't, I picked up some ice. It was like 70, 80 degrees. Okay, this was a few days after the severe sub-zero drop. Okay, and I put this big old block of ice, it looked like Dippin' Dots ice cream, on a hot piece of concrete. There was no moisture. None. That's not possible. The fact that all this stuff melted and there was no water in the field rows and the bayou level didn't go up. When you have snow that's about this deep, I'm sorry, something's going to happen. You know what I mean? And it didn't. I knew immediately that there was something wrong. They didn't salt the roads, and there were tons of wrecks and things of that nature. Look at my purse, please. I'm sorry for the interruption, but I've disclosed all of that. I have gone to multiple states. I have disclosed Memphis, Tennessee, when they desecrated the grave of Nathan Bedford Forrest. Tammy Sawyer was over there. Green Space. They got this little. The attorneys got together and made this fake nonprofit to sell $1 million property to for like $5,000. They were going to put a park there. They don't care about a park. That wasn't the purpose of what they were doing. The only thing they were worried about doing was desecrating that grave for stage political media to piss everybody off and get some people to come up there and go to jail so they could say, oh, look, white supremacists. Huh? Okay. First of all, it's my heritage. It's my First Amendment right. The way I have been treated for standing for my rights is disgusting in this country. I don't like AOC. I don't agree with these Democrat women. I believe they are staged political media, just like Alyssa Milano when she ended up in the Kavanaugh hearing. They paid those people. They paid those maidens that went in there. Those were staged political media. That's illegal in this country. Censorship of media is illegal in this country. Facebook, what they did to me during my campaign, I had a security code. I had gone through everything I needed to do. I dotted my I's, I crossed my T's, and I had a real message to get out there. And I was completely censored and banned during a campaign for statewide office as a legally qualified candidate. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm standing my ground and I'm calling them out. All the domestic terrorism I personally suffered at my home. I'm not crazy. I'm not on drugs, not a pedophile, not a prostitute, never have been. I was sex trafficked and I was drugged back years ago. I have had people targeting me. I have had people death threatening me, death threatening my kid. So I was taking my kid in and out of school. I had people lying on my children. I had people lying on me. I had people intentionally trying to agitate me to get me to react. I had fake videos made of me. What they've done to me is terrorism. If I had not already been through sex trafficking and torture, like you can't, I've been dead. I have literally been dead and come back. When you have somebody that's been through something like that, you can't break them. They're a disco ball. Everything you have done to me will come back to you tenfold. Understand that. There is no question of that. I have done nothing illegal. Anything they say or do against me is a setup. There is absolutely nothing they can do to me. Furthermore, I was informed they set my ex-husband, my child's father, up with a female, karmic. And this female tried to inform me that I had sent her messages threatening an unborn child that I knew nothing about. How can I send messages threatening an unborn child to murder an unborn child I don't even know about? That's stupid. They've messed up on multiple things. I have documentation of all of the domestic terrorism. The police have done nothing, and I understand that it was being investigated because my harassment went way further than just some local people that were jealous or envious, okay? Mine went way further. Mine went to judges, okay? Mine went to politicians. Mine went to colleges. The NOW organization, the National Organization of Women, Debbie Hollis over there in Shreveport, Louisiana, they were the ones staging up the monument stuff in Shreveport. The politicians don't want the monuments out front of courthouses because that's where the weak and weary gather. Literally. That's why they don't want them there. They don't want the homeless there. They don't want to look at them every day. They don't want to drive up in their Porsches and their Mercedes and have to step over a homeless person because they're over there at that monument getting some shade, or they're waiting on the church people to come pick them up. There's a Hope House over there in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's away from the courthouse. That is where the homeless have to go now. They've got the BLM mural over there, and they've herded them all to that property. But that is the reason the monuments were there. They are a reminder of what a tyrant government does to its people, because that was black and white people, mutual, defending their homes and defending their families from invaders. Invaders. I'm going to Stone Mountain, July 22nd. Okay. The reason I'm going to Stone Mountain, if you know anything about Atlanta, Georgia, the war that happened July 22nd, that is when they blocked our trade. They shut down our railroads. They shut down our ships, our cargoes. That is when they put the chokehold on the Southern people. I have the cotton ratios and amounts from those years. It is a stark realization of what they did to the Southern people. They tried to starve us out. And after the war, the reason we eat those black-eyed peas and cabbage every year for wealth and health and everything, it's all we had to eat. Sherman come down here and burned everything. I'm not joking. That's literally all we had to eat. That's why we know how to eat poke salad and stuff. And we do know how to season stuff in the South. I know how to season stuff. Some people say I don't season it enough, but I don't do that because some people don't like it. You know what I mean? And I want people to realize what they're doing. I went and I videoed the monument in Bibb County, Alabama, that was protected by the Alabama Supreme Court. It was erected by the Leonard Callaway Pratt, UDC, which was my uncle. I'm on video, baby.
It's all clear.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you checking that for me. My child is doing perimeter searches on the property because we've had so much sabotage. Every corner of my vehicle is busted in, and there was $6,000 worth of damages done in like September or October to my car. I had to get into a rental. And then after that, there has been damage done to every single side of it while it's been parked. They have a GPS tracking device on it. I know about it already. And they did attempt to push me and my youngest son into a light pole about a month ago in a vehicle, in a wreck. There is a hit out on my head, supposedly. That's what they told me when I was in New Orleans, too. Like, they wanted me to leave. Supposedly, these people were from Homeland Security. I don't know they were from Homeland Security. But my friend Andrew Duncan's pretty much disappeared. He got stabbed in Portland, Oregon. He ended up on Tucker Carlson. I ain't heard from him since. I'm worried about him, but I'm thinking he's probably in witness protection because I begged him to tell him everything. And Andrew didn't know everything, but see, I wasn't just there to defend the monuments. When I went to New Orleans and I was defending the monuments, it was all gravy, I had my kids with me. It was fun. It was wonderful. They come over there with paintball guns, hitting kids. They were calling in false complaints of shootings. They had ugly signs calling you fascist and racist, and they were coming up, hitting people in the back of the legs with bikes, grabbing you by the flags, jerking you around, pushing you off cars. I mean, it was pretty bad, okay? But they didn't get real violent with it because there were kids there, all right? And they actually said that. Like, that was one of their plans, was to really hurt some people. And a lot of those people were innocent defenders. Charlottesville, they turned those people away, and they had to walk through piss and shit that Antifa had collected on the buses. BLM and Antifa and KKK were all on the same bus, by the way. They were actors. They were college kids. They were getting their student loans forgiven through nonprofits for doing it. Okay? Obama put all that in place. If you understand all of it and connect the dots, whenever I was terrorized in Shreveport, Louisiana with that fake messenger, that was done by the Houston BLM office. And and it was circulated through Shreveport PD. And they were probably wanting to go after me because Debbie Hollis gets them grants. Okay. But if they'd have traced all of those people, there was an HBO actress, Claus actress, that was attacking me online during my campaign. Then they tried to get my son to come be a guest star on Claus. All right. Like, I'm going to really let them get their claws into him. Really? I'm not stupid. You come after my kids, that's the end of it. I'm not going to back down, and I'm not going to shut up. And you're not going to put me in prison for something I didn't do. I will turn it around on you, and you will go down for conspiracy, because I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. I have been through a nightmare since 2015 when I first started standing, and I was investigating Clinton's campaign over there in Colorado. It got really, really stupid because of the Lavoy Finnegan and the uranium one and the fusion GPS and all of that. They killed an innocent man. They shot at him at the first stop. So, hell yeah, he's going to take off running and crash into a snowbank. He still had both of his hands up. He was shot. They didn't have audio. They didn't play the video of the man that was on the ground that was taking his kid and got blocked. Whenever that guy showed up, they shut it down because they were shooting up the occupants of the truck that had wrecked after they'd shot Lavoy. They'd have killed the two women in that vehicle had that man not showed up, because all they did was the aerial view from up above. Kate Brown put the hit out on him. She wanted him shut up because he was getting too much attention and had too many people gathering. The Bundys, the Hammonds, Lavoy Finnegan, all of that was involved in everything, because the uranium that they were mining, which is the reason for the grazing rights and all that stuff, that was sold to a foreign country. That's treason. That was done. That's why the monument land seize was done by Obama. It's the minerals in the ground. Okay? Our fossil fuels. They're selling them to foreign countries. This war in Ukraine right now, U.S. bomb material is involved in this World War III that we're about to embark on. And it's going to get bad, folks. Like, I don't know how bad it's going to get. I know a lot of people have lost their 401ks and things have crashed for them. The gas prices have gone up, but I implore you to look closer. Go closer to God. Be humble. Be grateful. Be gracious. Look at what you're spending your money on. Do you think it's a coincidence there's a Starbucks in every college? You get them student loans. You get mom and daddy's money. And you spending $7 a day on a cup of coffee. That's way more than my $3.86 pack of cigarettes, isn't it? It's just wasteful. There's so many people suffering in this world, and to see them taking advantage of our youth. My daughter was drugged in. I don't really want to go into detail of what they have done to my children. But I do want to talk about one part specifically. They enrolled her in this class that was basically given for free for like CNA nursing assistant. The state was giving that for free. Well, they enrolled her, and it was like a $2,000, $3,000 tuition. And they moved the class to a different location. And then we found out that it wasn't going to count for nursing. I'd already bought uniforms and books, everything. I spent about $1,000 on that stuff. And then she had a bill, or she had student loan information for about $2,800. They kept invoicing her that. Biden wiped it all out. Okay. Thankfully, she doesn't have to pay that. But the point is, it was nothing but a scam. It was nothing but a scam. That's going to come out of her taxes next year. Right now, she's in a job that she's had to take out a student loan for. Then she could have started a job and it would have paid for it, And I'm not one of those nosy parents. I don't try to micromanage. I want my daughter to do good in life, and I love my grandbaby. Love her so much. she's so precious, y'all. But I don't like to see my children taken advantage of, and I extremely detest people trying to divide my children from me maliciously and bribing them for doing so. That is criminal to me. But that's been done. It's literally been done. They've gone to any and all lengths to discredit me. If I was a lesser person that had not been through the things I have been through in my life prior, I would have committed suicide back when all the cyber terrorism and the gang stalking was going on and the gaslighting. They shut off all my communication. They put out slanderous material to all these different people, all my followers. I'm not even seen anymore. But you know what? I still have a voice. I'm still going to run for office again, and I'm going to win. And I'm going to do it for the underdogs, all of us that have been crapped on by the DNC. I consider them to be terrorists. And I have the right to say that because I've suffered significantly. I've suffered for 25 years now. I've been oppressed intentionally because they knew what I was supposed to be. I was a member of the empire in 2004. I know what it is. That's the only reason I've been able to destroy it as well as I have. You know, the matrix has collapsed. And I'm extremely proud of myself. And it wasn't just me. There's been so many people that have combined together and collected information. We've gone to multiple states. We've documented all these paid agitators. We've matched on to different people. The mask, the facial recognition got cut out. So I was really getting agitated because, you know, I have like a photographic memory. I've been to so many different places. I've done so much different research. I was doing live feeds. I seen the police usher them in, and I even told one of them, I'm like, well, they're letting y'all go in. So, I mean, are y'all supposed to be in there? They were walking on the red carpet in the lines, okay, when they were coming in. Like, they were following the rules. They were doing what they were supposed to do. But you had the paid agitators that are getting paid. The way they got paid is for their editing and their news story and the media that they were able to produce there, okay? They create division. They create opportunity. They set people up. They set people up just so they can say, "Oh, look, there's the white supremacists. There's not white supremacists. They're patriots. They're patriots, and it's the people's house anyway." Yeah, if you go in there shooting at people, that's a problem. But there wasn't a shot fired other than the people that got scared. Their reaction. You know, they film you and get your reaction. They agitate you. They gaslight you. They agitate you to the point that you react. Your reaction is all they want. And if you don't give them a reaction, or you don't say something racist, or send something racist, they just make it up. That's what they did on me. I'm not scared of them. I can prove everything that's happened to me. I can prove the bank account terrorism, and that's a federal crime. They went in there and edited all my bank accounts. Like, one of my accounts that was named Capital One had a Craftsman account number under it now. Like, all my bills got diverted. They tried to cause me to be utterly devastated and take everything from me. And I'm too strong for that. I've got God behind me, and I've got God in me. I've always said the Confederate flag is your first line of defense. And that's 100% accurate because they're going after Christianity. And I know there's a lot of corrupt Christians. There are a lot of people that they're hypocrites. They've used the church for nonprofits, corruption, and child trafficking, molestation. We're aware of that. We know all that's happened. That's why I want Rebellious Hearts Ministries. I want that for the women that have been assaulted. I can't pursue my people. I was drugged to the point, I know where it happened. I know the tattoos that were put on me. I know things that I can't talk about to you. But I try to use my knowledge for good. I try to help others with it. I try to let others see. I can go to any town and point it out to you. Like I can find it within 3 hours. Any town, even small towns, rural communities. I know where it is. You have to have experienced it to be able to do that. And they don't like people like me out and about and still in their right mind. Most of the people that were trafficked, as I have been, they're dead, or they're addicts, or they've been institutionalized. I mean, look what they did to Britney Spears. It's not far fetched, honey. They sat there and drugged that girl and then had her put under their control so they could traffic her, exploit her for money. The girl wasn't even able to decide if she could get married or have a baby. How evil is that? How evil is it that we let things like that happen to women? Okay? And I am against abortion. I got drugged and I had my son from that drugging. He's 22 years old now. I made the choice for life. But with the amount of refugees that we're bringing in and the amount of rapes and incest and things of that nature that are going to be occurring to children, you can't do the heartbeat bill. That's way, way, way too soon. There has to be an exclusion, and it should be the way it's always been: first trimester exclusions for rape, incest, or medical conditions. Okay, that's my opinion. They did say AOC and a bunch of them got arrested or whatever, but I don't agree with arresting them because of the First Amendment. Now, if they're out there intentionally trying to get people to attack people like Maxine Walters was, Trump never told anybody to attack anybody. Matter of fact, he wants people to be on their best behavior. He did at that time. That's what was put out there. And everybody that were patriots that I seen were on their best behavior. I called it out immediately when I started seeing Antifa. When I started seeing them busting the windows and wearing all black and going in there, it was like psych ops to create turmoil and chaos for other people to react. Because when people get in a chaotic situation, they're naturally going to react to it and get scared and start panicking, and things happen in those instances. It's staged political media to create civil unrest. That is the definition of terrorism. I am a victim of domestic terrorism. I am a victim of gaslighting. I am a victim of identity theft. They have stolen my work. They have exploited me. They have made massive money off of me and smearing my name and defaming me. I want justice. That's the reason I ran for office. I wanted to expose the election tampering and what was going on because they did it in Georgia and they did it in 2019 in Louisiana. It was practice. They cyber ransomwared our school records in Georgia. Corrupt people already had it in line to just pay the ransom. It was all planned out. They all had their hand in the cookie jar. Then they brought it to Morehouse in Ouachita Parish, Louisiana. My child was wrongfully expelled, falsified absences, thrown into the court system. She was attacked by a truancy officer. They moved a child into my home. They started editing my computer during my campaign. And my daughter started getting drugged and radicalized against me. I do not regret running for office, even though they have done significant damage to my reputation and my family and everything else. I'm not backing down. I'm standing my ground, and I'm calling them out. It's called a conspiracy. It's called terrorism against your own citizens. And it's disgusting, especially when law enforcement won't do anything about it and they're well aware of it. They're well aware that I'm not crazy. They're well aware that I'm not making it up. They're well aware that I'm not paranoid. I have arson to all of my trees. I have arson to my business. My car has damage on every freaking side of it. It's not counting the first $6,000 worth of damages. My water pipes have been busted. My electrical pole has been cut. I mean, come on. I'm not doing that stuff to myself. They recently just hit my air conditioning unit. I don't know how they did it. It was working perfect, and I got a subliminal type thing. It just pops up, okay, on my system, and that's how they were doing the threats and stuff. I don't know how they were doing it. I know law enforcement and the government have that capability, so I'm just not even worrying about it anymore. I don't pay attention to the threats because they haven't actually been happening. Um, it just resulted in me trying to jerk my child out of school to protect him, and being a psychic, like I am, and learning my gifts these past 2 years. I inherited those from my grandmother, and I'm super proud of them. Um, they give me knowledge of things that are fixing to happen, and it's very distressing to me because I haven't learned to tone them in correctly yet. And all I know is it's going to happen. And I can tell you what's going to happen, but I don't know specifically what's going to be. You know, I had a dream last night about an explosion and water just gushing. And this picture that I took of a painting in Branson, Missouri at Lookout Point in a coffee house there. It was water just flowing and rushing down this valley and like wiping everything out. And it was beautiful, but it was also scary at the same time. That portrait scared me. And there was an explosion today at the Hoover Dam. Okay. I'm just giving you like the downloads I receive, and the fact that I don't ever know what they mean. All I can do is tell you this is fixing to happen, but I never know where. Um, People that have followed me for years know that on Christmas Day, I was the only person in America looking for a bomb Christmas morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was doing it in Fayetteville, Arkansas, because the threat came from an IP address at Fayetteville University in Arkansas. While I was there, I took pictures. The threat was a nice Christmas present for me would be a headstone blown to smithereens, and it scared me. I thought they were going to blow up this national cemetery where my stepfather is buried. And that was very, very, very distressing to me. Even though he would have said, let him do it. Because, you know, I was the messenger pigeon. He was a Green Marine. Okay. 32 years of training is what I got. I ain't got no paper or certificate. I don't have a college degree either because of fraud that was committed in my name. They've been oppressing me for, like I said, 25 years intentionally. I was withheld from moving with a position with a very big prestigious company. And I was in big places. I did a campaign for the president of that corporation, and the other person won. And after that, I was stuck on the plantation. I had to divorce my husband. The state made me because of something my son said. I was working and going to college. Couldn't go to college anymore. Couldn't leave with the company when they relocated because I couldn't leave the jurisdiction of the court. That's how they did it. And I stayed on the plantation for years and years and years and just raised my son because he's disabled. And I made a life for myself. I'm a very, very, very hard worker. Always have been. I haven't been able to work for several years because of targeting, gang stalking, death threats. You know, I've started 2 jobs since everything really happened in Shreveport, and I haven't been able to stay there. I've literally had death threats to the point where I was scared of getting shot. My whole family has been divided due to falsification, lies, slander. I don't know if they made a fake video. I don't know, because I've had people calling me, and it's their voice, and I'm having a conversation with them, and I can pull up at their house and they're not on the phone with me. That's happened literally 3 times. Okay. I'm not making it up. This stuff has really been happening. I just wanted to put it out there because what they've done is criminal. It's criminal. There were people going through my mailboxes. That's a federal crime. They've obstructed our mail. They've firebombed trees. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But what they've done to Trump, every time they did something to Trump, they did it to me first. Like I was their guinea pig. Okay. And he's had protection. He's got money. He's got protection. He's got attorneys. Guess what I got? I got God. I have God. That has been my salvation. And you know what? God is giving me the strength and the power to stand up to these people. I won't accept it anymore. I won't accept the gang stalking. I won't accept the slander. People that know me, and more power to them. I will run for office again. I will be heard. I will get my message out for the other victims of trafficking and extortion and oppression by our court system, by the police system. Because unfortunately, there's bad apples in every group. The Freemasons have actually come against me. I don't dislike any person because of the group they're in. Okay? I don't believe there should be segregated groups. I don't judge people because they're in a group. Some people are just genuinely in a group for the good. They want to be helpful. They want to do good. Or they're just trying to feel their, what they have to do through the court system just to get through whatever they're going through in their life. I'm not against every single person in a group. It is the individual. Okay. The BLM girl that is in prison for stealing all the money and everything, she's a scapegoat, y'all. The DNC was behind all that. That was how they were doing the staged political media. They paid agitators. They paid people to attack the police. They've even funded the lawsuits. All of those people can get lawsuits funded for their civil rights violations and their atrocities. Some woman just got paid big money for the bullets in her roof by BLM. Guess what? I had bullets in my roof after June 2020. My ex-husband had to come fix them for me. I had to pay him. I paid him. I've always paid him for everything he's done for me. I've never asked him for any help other than when they were busting my water pipes and putting bullets in my roof. And I had other people help me with my electrical poles and things of that nature. But I'm standing my ground. I'm not leaving. If they burn me out, they burn me out. I got insurance. Bring it on, Betty. I'm ready for you. But anyway, I don't agree with them arresting AOC and everybody else, because that is going to end up making it to where they can attack anybody. Okay. And that's what they're doing. They're using things like that to get us to attack our own rights. We get really, really mad at the leftists for what they're doing and what they're saying. And we know that they're bad. We know that. And we like to see them punished, because the right have been so crucified. But by attacking them and persecuting them for what they have done wrong, you're destroying your own rights. I'm dead serious. I'm telling you the truth right now. I want people to realize that. It is nothing but staged political media to create civil unrest and to get us to get rid of our own rights. But I love y'all. God bless America. And God bless all of you, because I know damn good and well He's blessing me.